Hi everyone. Today's remote is going to be covering more predictions for 2022 and beyond. And I'm using HCRV, heart-centered remote viewing technique. I used the long form. I haven't closed the session yet, so I'm still a little woo-woo. I'm a little out there, but I wanted to cover a couple of more predictions for 2022 based on, like as I said, the heart-centered remote viewing technique. People were concerned about Social Security. They were concerned about Vladimir Putin invading the Ukraine, instability in Europe, the weather, etc. So that's basically what I focused on in this remote. The first thing I want to say is that when I tune into the presidency of Joe Biden, it is entering into a period that is stabilizing. I feel that this stabilization takes place over the next year and a half. So we have a year and a half of very intelligent, good people coming in. As Paul Kruger, the economist, says, these are some smart people. And I feel this energy coming in and really bringing stability and sanity back to the White House and back to government. So this is the first thing. The second thing is that I think that there will be a new Supreme Court nominee. Biden, someone's going to be leaving in the next year and a half, so we'll have a new Democratic elected Supreme Court judge in the next year and a half. I feel that there are changes taking place in the Republican Party where the voice of sanity is also returning. Just feels like we're really getting on a stable, even keel over the next year and a half, coming out of all this craziness and all of this insanity that we've been going through. As many of you know, Omicron is considered a weaker variant, certainly weaker than the variant Delta, the COVID variant. And consequently, what we think is happening, what a lot of physicians and scientists think is happening, is that Omicron is immunizing people against more virulent forms of the disease, like Delta. And so for that reason, it may actually be the beginning of the end of the COVID crisis. And I think that's actually true. I do see it waning, particularly over the next 3 to 4 months. We'll see the numbers starting to drop as more and more of the Delta gets displaced by the Omicron and more people become vaccinated. So I really do think that in the next 3 to 4 months we'll start to see a decline in the numbers with the COVID virus. In terms of what's going on with Putin right now, he's made himself very clear about what he wants over the last few years that I've been working as a remote viewer on this channel, and he feels that his trade, the income, that the greatness that was the Soviet Union, the promises that were made by the United States were basically those promises were broken, and NATO, the formation of NATO, etc., really boxed him in and boxed Russia in financially so that they could not trade and they could not get ahead financially. A lot of the economic problems that Russia currently faces, from Putin's perspective, he blames the West and promises that were made by the West that cost them trade, income, and basically business in places like the Ukraine. I don't think that Putin wants to go to war with the West, but I do know that the people of the Ukraine are preparing for war, and I know that he's been threatening war if he doesn't have his needs met. However, I feel that he would be willing to not go to war if we could simply renegotiate and mediate new opportunities for Russia in the way of trade. So this includes his now going into Afghanistan. He has a new contract with India. I do think that he is prepared to go to war with Pakistan or destabilize Pakistan, which is currently supporting the Taliban. There are people in Pakistan that are going into Afghanistan and attempting to take control, help Taliban take control in Afghanistan. However, I don't think that Putin is going to tolerate that, given his history of really not liking the Muslim extremists. For example, what happened in Chechnya, the fact that he blames the Middle East, OPEC, for making it difficult for him to sell his oil and improve his trade in the economy of Russia. So for that reason, I think we could be seeing growing tensions between Russia and Pakistan, particularly now that he has the new contract with India and he really wants to open up routes with India and Afghanistan. The last thing that I looked at had to do with fears regarding Social Security, and I was actually surprised at how stable Social Security looked. Quite a few new programs are going to be starting to come out for people who are seniors. There are also a lot of laws I see that are being pushed forward by people like Elizabeth Warren and also by Bernie Sanders to secure the safety of seniors so that their homes will not be taken from them and that they'll be protected in terms of consumer rights for seniors, etc. And those new laws being enacted are going to do a lot to protect seniors. I see a stabilization happening with Social Security and also new opportunities and new benefits for seniors, particularly in the way of drug prices, home prices, and protecting mortgages, etc., from people like vultures that are coming in and trying to take advantage of vulnerable people. It just feels like a stabilizing force coming in. And I think the reason that that is happening is because so many people who tend to vote for the GOP are seniors, and so there's a lot of pressure on both the Democrats and the Republicans to secure the rights and the protection of seniors. In terms of the weather, it feels to me like we're going to be seeing an Arctic chill, particularly in the northeastern United States, pushing all the way into the southeastern United States and parts of the Midwest, parts of northern United States. This feels to me almost like a new ice age is moving in. It's quite strong feeling of being extremely cold around. I'm sorry if you live in Toronto. Toronto, Canada tends to be probably one of the coldest cities I've ever been to, but it just seems like that area gets hit by really hard Nordic blast, ice cold, chilly weather, and I really feel this ice sheet moving down even into parts of the southeastern United States. Texas is very unstable. I've always felt that, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the economy is going through a lot of changes with global warming. High methane emissions coming from that part of the world can cause the air to become warm, which can lead to flooding, heavy rains, etc. But we could be seeing more chilly weather also affecting parts of the South as well. This just feels to me like an unbelievably cold winter going in well past February, and we may even see the groundhog saying 6 more weeks of winter, I'm sorry to say. All right, so that is some more of my 2022 predictions using the long technique of HCRV. We'll be back teaching HCRV levels 1, 2, and 3 next Wednesday. If you would like to join us, I think we're going to do something like 5 p.m. Per request from the group. If you would like to come in for a reading with me, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. And on behalf of Mila and myself, I wish you all a safe and a very happy New Year. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.